Call a meeting to order. Clair Township Board of Trustees, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. That way. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thanks for coming, everybody. We just noticed our flag was borrowed by the police station, so I think they're going to return it. So if you see a flag come walking through here, you'll know what it's about. Roll call, please.
Sandy Kufelt. Here. Chris O'Regan.
Here.
Artie Bryson.
Here.
Cindy Valentine. Here. Joanne Shirkey.
Here.
Mark Bouchard.
Here.
Tom Kruger.
Here. Okay, we're all here. I'd like to make a few amendments to the agenda, if I may, before we get started. Number 6 will be master water meter replacement. I have the bill in front of you. And then 7 will be discussion of the fire chief hiring committee. These are all under new business. And 8 will be fire commissioner appointment. And that is a motion.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right, bills payable.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills payable in the amount of $92,874.83. Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion, questions?
There's our flag.
It's okay.
I'll have some questions to the fire department afterwards and some of the billing on basically the equipment. So
Okay.
it doesn't pertain to that.
All right. No problem there. Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Tom Kruger.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Sandy Kufelt.
Yes.
Okay, great, motion carries. Next, we have public comments. Do we have any public comments? No public comments. Last call. Okay, moving right along, we have the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of the board meeting minutes of January 9th, 2017, and synopsis. Reports consisting of check reports, December water report, building and zoning and code enforcement, the December and 2016 year-end assessing report, 2000 year-end building and zoning report, 2016 year-end water report, and January Parks and Rec update, notice of the fire department collection report, communication for letter of resignation for Carl Billings and Carl Bailey, request from assessing from Sherry Lawton to renew association membership for $125 to line 101-257-83100, and police department reserve training for C. Gordon, $800, 207-000-96000.
Okay, we have a motion. Any support?
Support.
All right, any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to, under the notice, pull the collection report for the fire department so that maybe we can have a little bit of explanation on this report. The understanding of this report, if you don't mind.
Okay, we'll have to amend the agenda again. So let's approve the consent agenda minus the collection report from the fire department.
Okay, that's a motion?
Yes,
Okay, support.
support.
Yes.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the consent agenda, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, I'll make another motion to amend the agenda, adding under 9, under new business, the fire department collection report. Do I have any support?
Support.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All right, next we have the supervisor's report, and I promise it won't be as long as the last one. We met with the Michigan Mutual League. They are our workers' comp insurance provider. And because we actually had a pretty good year last year, actually the last 2 years, our multiplier was lowered to a 0.7. And what that is, that's how they determine what our rates are. They use a 3.5-year average of your losses. For instance, if we're a multiplier of 1, and that's average, our premium would have been $62,692. But since we have the 0.7 multiplier, our premium actually going forward this year will be $43,884, $18,808 savings. So I wanted to let the board know that. And also, I was talking to Barb and Sherry, our assessing department. Our assessed value for our residential for Clay Township topped over $1 billion this year. So, what's that? True, I'm sorry, yes, true cash, not assessed. There's a difference. Thank you. They're having heart attacks over there. Yeah, not assessed, it's true cash. Talking to the DDA had a meeting last week, and they again approved to be a member of the Discover the Blue. We do that in partnerships with Elginak, and that's a great program. It promotes tourism and all our local events here. The cost of that is $2,650, and if we didn't partner with Elginak, it would be double that. They also voted to be a sponsor of the Pearl Beach Lions Winterfest coming up in February. And then I wanted to give kudos to one of the members of the DDA, Ann Kager. She actually volunteered to reconcile the DDA bank account, which she did from July 6th of 2016 to December. And I gave it to her, and she did it very fast. So that's a good thing. Thank you, Ann, for that. Met with I'm now on the St. Clair County, it's called the Township Road and Bridge Advisory Committee. And they reported to me basically the whole county, there's a lot of bridges that need to be repaired. It's estimated about $40 million. And there's actually 2 large ones that will probably affect us on this summer or spring, whenever they do them. They're on 26 Mile Road. It's about a quarter mile each side of Palms. I'm not sure if they're going to do one then the other or both at the same time, but that will affect our traffic on 26 Mile Road. But they're hoping to get more money through the new gas tax and Act 51 for to repair some of these bridges going forward. The county board of commissioners is going to raise the fee on the landfill $6 a ton to $32.50, and that will go into effect July 1st. So most of the townships actually, that's when they start their new budget year, July 1st to June 30th. So we'll be able to account for that in our next budget. Most households, they create about 1.5 tons of garbage, between 1 and 1.5 tons of garbage. Actually, Clay Township is a lot lower. Our average is 0.8 tons because we have a lot of homes that aren't year round, so they're not contributing to our landfill in the winter months. So, and if you remember too, we backed out on our garbage hauler contract. We used to pay for it, actually getting our garbage hauled, plus a flat, the cost of the landfill was included in that. And they were actually calculating that we would have between 2 and 2.5 tons per household. And I think when we did that, we pulled it out, and we're actually realizing about a $30,000 a year savings by doing that. And so we pay the landfill, the county landfill direct. All right, the tower truck that we share with Ira and Elginak is at Apollo getting fixed right now. Is it still there? I believe so, yeah. So that's out of service for a few more days. And we are getting granular. We're starting to work on our community readiness plan. And we also have 2 other programs going on with the school in conjunction with the St. Clair County Emergency Management Team. We did open our sealed bids for the work that's going to be done on the 200,000 gallon water tank. The engineer, he gave us an estimate at $27,000. We actually received 5 bids. 2 of them were below the $27,000 and 1 was right about there and 2 were higher. We gave all the bids to Dixon Engineering, and they are going to review them and give us a recommendation for our next meeting. The low bid, it was around $19,000. So it was quite a bit lower. So, but we want to make sure it's a reputable firm and they have, you know, all the right insurance and everything before we jump off that bridge. So just want to let the board know on that. We'll be dealing with that our next meeting. Upcoming events. We still have the activities club, the leisure activities club going at the high school. It's on the 2nd Thursday of the month. That's when they do their business meeting. And this is geared for special needs adults, 18 and older, and it's going great. And they're actually looking for opportunities for volunteering to help different community events and people out. Our consumer education series continues, 3rd Wednesday of the month. And we have one more, February 15th, this investment fraud. It will be actually held at our new training center at the police, because this building, we're going to be busy here. This last Saturday, they started the Eat Healthy, Be Active group. It's 9:30 Saturdays. It's going to go 6 weeks. They had a great turnout. It's about 20 people. I actually popped in right at the tail end of it, and everyone was very positive, and they actually, you know, they talked about doing exercises and programs and how to eat healthy on a budget. And they actually did some cooking here and gave people some groceries to go home and make something out of this and tell us what you made. So that's kind of fun for them. And then the Clay Township team, youth team tennis, is going full blast from ages 5 to 10 in the schools. They got good participation, and I popped in there a couple times. Everyone's really positive. They're having fun. These little kids on this, it's fun to watch, actually. And that's we'll definitely keep that going for as long as we can. The survival rival competition, that's one of the things we're doing through the emergency management team. It's kind of like a Jeopardy competition. It's going to be open to 5th graders. It's going to be held February 25th at 9 a.m., 9 to 11, over at the police station. I know some flyers have been delivered to the schools, and it's going to be open up for 5th graders. We're going to be doing a cooking class for teens starting Monday, March 6th. And basically deals with cooking with fresh meats, vegetables, fruits, and eating healthy, 2:45, 4:45 on March 6th, and it'll be that week, it'll be that Monday for 6 weeks. And actually our high school intern, Abby's helping us get that going. And then we're going to talk about a little bit today, but weekend of February 18th is the Winterfest, the Pearl Beach Winterfest. And they have all kinds of activities and things planned for that. I know they're going to have the beer tent Friday and Saturday with Meldrum Brothers Friday, and Saturday, it's a really good band, Soul Provider. And they're doing the wrestling again on Sunday. And they got all kinds, a whole slew of other events, so ice skaters and fishing. They're going to do fishing on the ice, and then handicap fishing in the pavilion for a tank. there'll be a lot of activities going on for there. There'll be more information on that. I'm done.
Hopefully we have ice this year.
Yes, hopefully we will have ice this year.
Yeah.
And for our figure skaters, because they put on a great show. New business, moving right along, is the Pearl Beach Lions Winterfest, approval of a temporary alcohol license. And I think we gave you an email basically requesting it.
I'll make a motion to approve the temporary license for alcohol beverages for the Pearl Beach Lions Winterfest, February 17th
Through the
through
19th.
19th.
Okay, we have a motion
Support.
and support. I'll open up discussion. They've done this 2 years, and it's fairly well secured. They have their own security. We've never had an issue. I would actually make that motion as long as they get the okay from the police chief.
Yeah.
I would edit that motion that he signs off on it.
Motion edited to include the approval of the Clay Township Police Chief.
Still support, Joanne?
Yes.
Okay. Any more discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, we have Resolution 2017-01, St. Clair County right-of-way work. We do this every year, and basically, we're telling, they want us to do this so for us to work in their right-of-way. In other words, this board is giving the water department, whoever our employees are, to work in their right-of-way, and they make sure we have the proper insurance and that type of thing. So they always feel more comfortable if we pass a resolution every year. So that's what this is. So I'll make a motion, pass resolution 2017-01, St. Clair County Road Commission right-of-way access.
Support.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Tom Kruger.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Sandy Kufelt.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next, we have Resolution 2017-02, adoption of the MERS 457 Employee Optional Supplemental Retirement Program. You want to talk about this one, or?
I included with the MERS resolution the comparison, and oddly enough, the company they compare it to is Nationwide, which we currently offer for our employees. It is a employee optional contribution. The township does not contribute. It's 100% employee funded, but it does give them an alternative to add to their pension plan to whatever contribution limit that they so choose as provided for by law, depending on their age and status with the township. The comparison, though, shows that there is a great deal of savings between the Nationwide and the one that the MERS offers, as MERS is involved in more things and is able to do it at a lower fee scale.
Are they losing any benefits, Cindy?
Nope, be the same thing. They, everyone has their own retirement strategy depending on their retirement year, their own packages, but most of their accounts seem to be performing just as well, if not better than the Nationwide ones. They just have the availability to offer lower fees. Nationwide is typically one of the highest fees for 457. So the employees would have the option to either switch over from Nationwide if they so
okay.
choose.
Okay.
They can stay with Nationwide, or they can just start a new account with MERS.
Perfect.
Strictly voluntary.
Yep.
Okay.
No cost to the township. Any more, we don't have a,
Is there any fees or penalties associated with the switch
No.
we're aware of?
Yep. Nope.
in fact, this is pre-tax, isn't it, Tom? So actually, it would save us a little bit, because we wouldn't have to match the
Have Cindy
the
explain.
Social Security and Medicare.
Social Security?
Yes.
So actually, it would save us just a
Might save us a little bit.
few pennies.
I'll make a motion to approve that resolution 2017-02, the adoption of MERS 457 Employee Optional Voluntary Supplemental Retirement Program.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any more discussion?
Some of this stuff.
Doing a fine job.
Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Artie Bryson?
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey?
Yes.
Mark Bouchard?
Yes.
Sandy Kufel?
Yes.
Crystal Regan?
Yes.
Tom Kruger?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Next, we have a request from interim chief Jerry Doan, fire chief Jerry Doan, to elevate both Russ Ceder and Michael Harry to full-time status in the police, the fire department, and they would be part of the Safer Grant program. Right now, they're just part-time. They're both local guys, and you did a little write-up about them, so I'll entertain a motion.
That,
I'll make a motion that we elevate Russ Ceder and Mike Harry to the SAFER program, which is part of the fire department.
if you don't mind, Joanne, just stipulate that grant will terminate this October of 17.
And the SAFER grant will terminate October the 17th.
Thank you.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion? I just, it's really not on this direct topic, but we're working on getting these guys refunded. There's a 3-year retention and recruitment grant available. So if we do get it, we'll be able to go forward with these guys. The deadline to apply is February 10th. We're in the process of doing that now. So,
That's good news.
yep. Yeah, the same one, it really doesn't work because we'd have to hire, 7 new people, plus retain. But this one, the retention and recruitment grant would be a better fit for us. Any more discussion?
Do we have to vote? 'Cause it's personnel. Do we have to roll call? Or
No. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, that's 4, 5. Moving right along, Stuart Beauvais Whipple, he sent us a letter asking us what we want to do with, this is going forward. We agreed that they would be doing the bank reconciliations for our general fund account through December of this last year, and they want to know if we want to still use them to go forward with that. So that's what this letter is about, and before I would sign it, I need the board's blessing. Basically, the rate's that they're gonna charge us is the same.
I'll make a motion that we continue to have Stuart Beauvais and Whipple do our account reconciliations from now going forward.
Yeah, actually, they estimated it, actually, they dropped it somewhat because when they took it over in the beginning, there was a definite learning curve for them.
So do you want that figure in there?
No, it
It
doesn't.
doesn't?
It varies, it's an hourly. This is just to have them do it.
Yes.
How can it be a learning curve? Haven't they been doing it all along?
Well, that's why, when they estimated it back 6 months ago, they gave us a higher estimate because they didn't know. When they first started. And this amount is between $500 and $700
Do we
monthly.
have support?
And this also assumes that there's no major issues. If there is an issue, then it's gonna, be
We
a.
need a support.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
We do have a motion. Do we have support?
I made the motion.
Right.
Is there an ending date on this?
What's that?
Is there an ending date?
I believe it was, I would do it myself for 6 months, another 6 months, and I could amend that.
Okay.
So do we have support, or we're going to let it die?
Didn't you support?
I'm not comfortable.
Okay. All right. Well, what's the board's pleasure?
Postpone?
What?
Postpone? You postpone it?
Okay. Well, all right. Well, we're going to need our bank recs reconciled.
Need a second for discussion, correct?
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, we do have a second.
Let's discuss it.
Okay, we do have a second now. All right, open up for discussion.
So clarify again, this is something that we've done in-house in the past.
Really never was done in-house correctly. I'm going back 4 years, many years ago. It was being done in-house, but it wasn't reconciled. What should happen, our general fund account should, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, should be reconciled to the general ledger every month.
Right.
And what was happening in the past was they would reconcile it, but it didn't reconcile to the general ledger. There was all kinds of errors. And they just said, okay, that's done, and put it on the shelf and go to the next month. Well, when the time the auditors came, there was all these issues and problems, and we had to, and I'm going back years, this
Understand?
practice. It's not, last year or anything, years. And that's why Clay has historically had very high audit bills, because the auditors would have to go back through all these reconciliations for a whole year and figure out the errors and correct them and do, general ledger edit or amendments and so forth and so on to get it to balance to work so we can actually get our books ready to be audited. And part of the whole thing we did last year to clean up our audit is we mandated that all these bank accounts be reconciled the following month. For like July should be reconciled August, September, and so forth and so on. But at the time, we didn't have the manpower in-house to do it. We had several options. You probably remember this, Joanne and Tom, where we could have hired somebody, we could have paid overtime, all these things. And truthfully, at the time, the board thought it was cheapest to hire Stuart Beauvais Whipple to do that. Then there was thought that Tom would be able to take it over, and that hasn't happened yet either. To bring it back in-house. And so that's where we're at right now.
Thanks for the explanation. I feel more comfortable with it now. However, I know she made a motion down there, but did she include the 6-month ending date?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I'm going to be adamant myself, they need to be done on time monthly. That was a big issue in our audits and previous audits. And we got the gold star, clean slate this past audit, and we got to keep that going.
Keep it going, yep.
For the trust for everybody else out there. If something does happen, it would show up in the reconciliation, and we know and that's what we make decisions off these reports, and by being reconciled every month, we know we have good information to make decisions.
Yeah. When I got elected to treasurer, the first thing I did is I asked the deputy, I said, who does the bank reconciliations? And she says, well, I do. I says, oh, that's good. So I put that aside and got active in other things. And then about 6 months later, I asked her can I look at the reconciliation? She says, yeah, but by the way, they don't reconcile.
Oh.
I said, well, they don't reconcile. She said, no, I can never get them to reconcile. I said, well, then they don't reconcile. Well, and then the whole thing blew up with the clerk at the time, where we had to deal with that, and then I had medical problems, and it never got, we never have been able to find the time to do them. So hopefully, once my problems subside, I'll be able to take over those and do them. Just to let everybody know, there's more than just one bank account. The one that Artie, I think, is talking about is the main 3 accounts that are reconciled by the auditors. There are 4 more accounts that I have been reconciling until I had to go in for my knee operation. So I think we have to continue on with them, get them reconciled on a monthly basis. I noticed here, though, that they're not going to do the tax account, the DDA, the colony maintenance, or any of the
Well,
investment.
no, those are the accounts that we just approved at the last meeting to have them due from last June until December of this year.
So those have been brought up already.
Yeah.
We approved those last meeting.
So this amount is in addition to the ones from last.
What's that?
This is just for the general
Right.
account.
Yeah, there's actually 3 physical accounts. that
There's
they-
general payroll and what's the other one?
Mr. Kruger, can you recall the last time you reconciled an account for us?
Let's see, they were all done up through June.
To June? Okay. And your health prognosis, sometimes that can be challenging to put a timeline on, but if
really
the
up to
board
the
knew,
doctors.
if the board knew a time that we thought we could pass this torch over to our CPA, it might make this decision a little bit easier. So can you help guide us or give us your
They
thought
haven't
process?
told me, so I really can't tell you. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but I don't know. I was just telling Artie, they're talking about having me go in for what they call a manipulation, I think it's called. And that's
Okay.
a setback, but hopefully that won't occur. I can't give you a date.
So, because I'm not a CPA, maybe you could educate me. Is there a reason why these couldn't be done out of the office at your leisure? Say at your home office, or? I mean, what am I missing here?
I don't know, I guess.
And is this something that you can commit to in a short amount of time?
Well, it's difficult to do it anywhere else. I don't have access to the financial records.
Okay. Well, that helps provide some insight for me.
You know, if you want to move a computer off-site and give me a box full of records every month, I could do it.
Okay.
Well, we have to maintain the integrity of our last audit,
Yep.
so it needs to be done timely.
I
And
agree with that. Let's keep,
if Mr. Kruger
And
can
let's
commit
get
to a
something
time.
clear.
I couldn't hear.
You know, we haven't done these in-house for 24 years.
Okay.
So, trying to find somebody to blame, if you want to blame somebody, blame the previous treasurer who was here for 20 years and never did them. When I got here, the you-know-what hit the fan, and we were busy, Artie and I specifically, everybody in the office was busy trying to make ends meet until we got, until we discovered what was missing and got a new clerk in place, and, we were all picking up duties that we shouldn't be doing. But even through that, we're able to, I brought all the smaller accounts, if you want to call them that, and reconciled all those. I just couldn't get to the one big one, which is the three main accounts, two main accounts, actually, the payroll account. isn't
Payroll
that
and the
big.
general.
But the the general account, that is the hardest to reconcile
Well,
and more time consuming.
I don't really hear anyone blaming anyone. I think we're looking at a good audit that we want to maintain,
Yeah,
and using the resources we have would be preferable over spending this money, I think is where I'm coming from anyway. But if you're unable medically to do that at this time, then we need to look at other options.
that's fine.
So we have a motion to allow Stuart Bovee Whipple to continue the reconciliation of our, specifically it's the general and the payroll accounts for 6 months. I'll see if he'll let us an early out too with a 30-day written notice.
I'm sure he will.
So I was going to toss that in myself. Any more discussion? Hearing none. That's contract, we better go roll call, unfortunately.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Mark Burchard.
Yes.
Sandy Kufelt.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
No.
Tom Kruger.
Yes,
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes.
Okay, motion carries. All right, next, 6 under new business. I put the bill in front of your chairs. This is for replacement of one of the master water meters between Elginak and Clay. For the new board members, we have 3 of them. There's one on, this one is actually on Fruit Street, and there's one, it's actually, it feeds north Clay Township. It's actually on the walking or bike trail that goes behind the state park, right by the bridge. That's the second one. And the third one's along M29 at the border. And, excuse me, and part of the deal is if we test these meters and they're more than 10% off, that we're bound by the contract to replace them, and we split the costs with the city of Elginak. And we have the bill, and I did mention this, it was a while ago in one of my supervisor's report, but
I believe
it's,
they were getting estimates at the time.
yeah.
So these are,
And so the low one, and that's what they decided to go through to, was $9,960.87.
I'll make a motion to approve payment to the city of Elginak for the master meter replacement on Fruit Road for lost my page, sorry. $9,960.87.
Okay, we have motion, and do we have a support?
Support.
Okay, thank you for not being shy. Motion and support. Any discussion on this?
So that's the split that we're paying
Yes.
with them, the $9,960.
Right. And just so you know, I requested them to see if there's any value with the old one that we're taking out, see if it could be rebuilt. And
Chris did.
could be rebuilt and recoup some money back from that. So,
And if we got a recoup on that, that would be a split with them also?
right,
Okay.
right.
Algonac actually replaced these? Or
We have an outside company that does it.
Okay.
Any more do we get a second?
Yeah, Chris.
Chris did.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, 7, discussion of fire chief hiring committee. We are looking at different candidates. Be perfectly honest, the interim chief, Jerry Doan, he's expressed some interest of going back to the water department. I think personally, he's been doing a pretty good job over there, and I would venture to say most of the firemen, you know, for the situation he was put in is, you know, doing the same. But he has expressed some interest of going back to the water department. So we're going to be looking for a replacement for him. And I thought what we do is form a committee to help facilitate that and take it from there and see if we can find some good candidates. And once they come up, I mean, anybody on the board is, you know, I'll let you know who they are and can contact them themselves too for if they want to meet with anybody and talk to them. So I know, Chris, you
I expressed some interest.
yes, expressed some interest in that.
Yeah.
I'll be a member.
And Mark would, and I kind of think I should probably be. So, so you want to make that motion, Chris?
Sure. I'd like to make a motion to assemble a hiring committee for the potential new chief, consistent of Artie Bryson, Mark Burchard, and Chris O'Regan.
Support.
Yeah, motion support. And then, you know, any final decision would come back to the board, you know, because, you know, I'm sure there'll be a contract and that would have to be approved by the whole board, so. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose, motion carries. Okay, this was thrown on just at the last second. 2.8, appointing a fire commission. And there was some discussion between a few of us. We, you know, we think that it would be beneficial for us, just open up lines of communication and I think Chris and Cindy threw out a few names, and the one name that kept on coming out was John Horvath. I did talk to him briefly, and he said he'd be willing to do that. He actually said he'd be honored. He's been a firefighter since, I think, 72, but he helped found this one in 1978, and so I'll entertain a motion.
I'd be willing to make a motion to appoint John Horvath as the current fire chief, or fire, not chief, fire chief, fire commissioner for Clay Township Fire Department.
Support.
Do we have to name a person now?
No.
No,
I mean,
that's my motion.
It's our right
Well,
to,
I know, but you named already a person
right.
instead of debating it.
What's that?
Instead of debating it.
Oh,
There's motion and
First of all,
support,
I'd
so you
like
guys
to know
can
what the
discuss
specific
it.
duties are.
right. Well,
And if you can
you gotta
handle
have a
that.
motion and support before we can debate. So that's what we have. So I'll open up for discussion. The specific, there really isn't any specific duties. Did you have any when you were Commissioner Joanne? I mean,
Just to
but,
keep track of what was going on, but at the time, I was the commissioner. They didn't have any SOGs or SOPs, and I was instrumental in
right.
getting them to do that.
Right.
It-
It's not someone that's going to micromanage.
Right,
It's more
right.
like a communication between the fire department and this board, and that type of a thing.
And it is not a paid position either, so.
I feel due to recent events in the fire department, the turnover that's occurring, I think it would benefit the board and the fire department to instate a fire commissioner. And I also believe that the first meeting we sat at as a board, we saw John given multiple awards
Right.
for his service in the community. So I think that would be a very good fit.
He certainly is qualified with firefighting, that's for
It
sure.
appears so. Everything I have seen and read and heard.
And I think it's important that someone has a knowledge of how firefighting is and what goes on. And,
For example, I'm currently trying to help the fire department with their recruitment and retention grant. However, I don't have enough knowledge about the equipment they have there, the structure that they have there, current policies that they have in place there. The interim chief is obviously very busy trying to keep a handle on things down there. I've talked to a couple of the guys, they've been somewhat helpful, but a little bit more insight from somebody that has a little bit more knowledge in that area would be very helpful.
and just a side point, when I was fire commissioner, I was a volunteer firefighter on the island, and even was assistant chief. So I had some background in that also, to be the fire commissioner. So I have a first-hand information of, that it is important.
I do think, second thought, like I said, this came up pretty quick, and I know Mark's probably expressed some interest of being at one too.
Right.
So,
Well, when's the last time John fought a fire?
yeah.
When's the last time he's been in the fire department?
Well,
You know,
yeah,
I haven't got a problem with John per se.
right.
It's just that, to do the job right, you got to have some stability, aggressiveness, And I would like to see another 2 or 3 candidates come up to, would like to do that.
Okay. I don't have a problem postponing it myself, just because,
Well, I have a motion out,
okay, I know.
so you have to vote on that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I realize that. So,
I mean, if we're going to do it right, we're going to revamp the fire department per se, is what, with the new chief, or if we have a new chief, or the old chief comes back, let's do it right.
right, oh, I agree. Any more discussion?
Yeah, I guess I was looking at it in terms of, I'm not interested in placing a watchdog over the fire
No.
department,
No.
but I'm interested in having a liaison and somebody interested in what their needs are, both short-term, mid-term, and long-term needs, from equipment to personnel. I don't know. I don't have a clue, but I know that they have strong needs that are going to have to be met next week and also next year. And because we're in transition, I think it speaks volumes to the need of a position like that to help us transition, not only budgetarily, which will be huge, but to make sure they have the stuff that they need. So,
That he's done with the last 2 terms, so he's township familiar, that's my go-to point. He's already familiar with what's going on down there, what issues we have down there, what equipment we need down there, the status of the equipment we do have down there. He's been on the board for, I don't know, the last 8 years,
Yeah.
at least,
Yeah.
on and off before then. So I don't,
Well, like I said, I don't have a problem with John per se.
Right.
And if he's the guy to do it, then fine. Okay, and if everybody agrees with it, I'll agree with it as well. But, I think it's going to be an interim commissioner, is what I like to see, and see how he functions. And then, 3 months, 6 months, whatever.
don't put a timeline on it?
Yeah.
Would that make you feel more comfortable?
I do.
Okay, so do you think that if we put this out, understanding that it's primarily a volunteer-type position, do you think we'd have many candidates for that position that are qualified?
I have no
Have the
idea.
same qualifications that he has?
I have no idea.
Nor do I. That's why I'm posing the question.
Yeah.
But I think time is of the
All depends on
essence.
the makeup of the community. And who wants to volunteer their time for it. I can't see it being a lengthy job, other than, maybe once a week, twice a week, sitting down with some meetings with the chief and the firefighters, and now we have a union going in place, so,
Yep.
that's another thing he's gonna have to deal with.
Agreed.
What does anybody know about a union?
I have a feeling we're about to learn a whole lot.
Well, yeah, right. So that's why I like to see a postponement and/or put a time limit on it and see what happens.
What sort of time limit?
More than what just meets the eye. For a fire commissioner.
So what sort of time limit would make you, because we could always extend it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or do an interim for 3 months.
Mark, what do you feel about a 12-week deal? Too short, too long?
That's fine. He may not want it after 12 weeks, though, so.
Right.
Yeah, so, But, I think if it was explained to him that, 12 weeks, we got the union going in place and all this other stuff that he's gonna get up to speed on and cooperate with the chief or whatever it is, then that's fine. Okay.
I'll amend it through April 30th, just so that we have a hard date.
Who supported that?
I did.
Okay, are you good with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So we have a motion amended that we appoint John Horvath as a fire commissioner for a period of to the April 30th.
3 months.
And at that point, we'll reassess and either reappoint or do something different. Everyone good with that motion?
Yep, support.
All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, that's all we have under new business.
No, wasn't there a number 9?
No,
There's
Yeah.
one more.
oh, I'm sorry, yep. Oh, I just had an arrow.
Ms. Shirkey added one?
Fire Department collection report. Joanne wanted to do a discussion on that.
I would just like to have, if I can find it here, an explanation of how that, what that report is saying to us, and to the citizens also.
Okay. This is a, they call it a payer aging report. It starts out current, 31 to 60, 61 to 90, 91 to 20. We get this from the company that does the billing for our services? Or do you guys produce this report based off of what we get paid?
No, Acumen does it,
Acumen? Okay.
and it's whatever for non-township resident billing.
So what's current is what is billed currently, that is not past their due date yet, of what is owed to the township for services that were billed by our fire department to non-residents. 31 to 60 is the amount that has been billed out that is over 31 to 60 days due, and so forth. So our highest is 61 to 90 days, there's $3,364.87 outstanding. Total, $5,049.77. I believe over 180 days, they turn it over to collections.
Yeah, they turn it over to collection agents, and of course, if that happens, we get less of it back, but we do get something.
We do have some people that make regular payments, we'll get payments every other week from some people, $20, $20, $20. So some people do pay their bills, some of them obviously don't, and they get turned into collections, but this is a status. Overall, we have for the most part, I think, a pretty decent collection.
96% recovery rate,
Yeah, yeah.
What was that?
96%.
96% collection? That's pretty good, darn good.
Takes a little muscling sometimes, but.
I was asked the question what that was about
Right.
by some citizens, and I said I'll bring it up
Okay, good.
and get an explanation for the public.
Okay,
I try and get it in there every month.
Yeah, yeah.
are we satisfied with that?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Everybody? All right. Board member comments. Sandy, do you have anything?
I do. A lot of people have approached me in the last couple of months about the activities we have in the community for kids. And I just wanted to thank everyone that made it out to the AYFL chili cook-off a couple weeks ago. There also was a Cub Scout Pack 222 chili cook-off last weekend, which I hear did very well. And next Friday at the high school, there will be a Friday Night Lights from 6 to 8. And there's going to be activities for all ages of kids, adults. There's a DJ, food provided, and that money that they raise at the door goes for scholarships for kids. So I encourage everyone to come out and check it out.
That's this coming Friday?
February 3rd, next
Oh,
Friday.
Next Friday.
I think originally we tried to do that in November. Was that November they
Yes.
tried doing it?
We tried to do it during football season, but the
But we have a
rapid
winning
success
football
of our
team.
Muskrats prevents us from using the field. So we do it for Super Bowl.
And that's inside.
Yes. Can walk the halls, there's events for kids, food's provided, and it's a donation at the door.
Okay, is that it?
That's it.
Thank you. Chris?
I'm all set, Artie.
All right. Tom?
Just one thing, the other board meeting, I questioned the minutes. It says, Tom Kruger not pleased he didn't receive a phone call regarding DePage, advised, and in quotes, support whatever means necessary. I said, I don't think that's what I said, and in checking the tape, it is not what I said. What I said was support Daryl as best you can. So I'd like to have that changed in the minutes. It is
Janet
indicated
reviewed it
as
and
a direct
updated
quote.
them.
What?
I said Janet reviewed them and updated them. I can pull them for you, but I don't have them in here.
Is that what she put as the updated
I don't know, she played the meeting
verbiage?
back and did a little paragraph.
Okay, well, just let me look at those minutes, make sure that's what she said.
Okay.
Put a copy of them in your office.
I didn't see them in the packet.
No, I said I will put a copy of them in your office.
Oh, all right.
Hey, Mark, you got anything?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay, Joanne?
Yes, I think it's good that we have Cindy Babbage doing a lot of things for our recreation program, and also things like Sandy's doing, and I think we're moving really along as far as our recreation plans and future programs and current programs, and I think that's a very good thing for our community. I'm glad to see it, and I'm glad that you also already give something out in your report each time we
yeah.
have a meeting, so that people know all the good things happening here. And as far as the ZBA, I'm the board rep to the ZBA. We approved a height variance, and we also worked on a interpretation of a rear yard setback, but I don't want to go into that right now until the minutes get approved. And as soon as I know exactly how that's stated, that will be in the ordinance, I will bring it back to the board and read it
Okay,
to you.
good, thank you.
Yeah.
Is it going to be an amendment to the ordinance, are they talking about? Or that'll go back to the planning?
I
do
don't
that.
think, that's one of the reasons that we interpret, I don't know how, if
Right.
it's going to have to.
Okay,
It's because it's an interpretation from the ZBA, so that's why I'm waiting.
to the building department?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good, thank you. Cindy?
Well, on the lines of the local activities and stuff for kids, I went to that grand opening for Sluggers, the batting cages for the kids. It was a very, very nice setup they have down there. I was very impressed with it. I think it'll do well. I think the kids will enjoy it for everybody.
Good, thank you. The only thing I have, I actually wanted to give our board a compliment tonight, believe it or not, on the discussion about the fire commissioner. You know, we could have hashed it out and maybe had a vote from 5 to 2, but instead we did a good discussion and we came up with a consensus, 100% consensus. And that's really, in my mind, the best way of governance. And I just want to compliment everybody on, you know, listening to everybody and coming up with that. So that's what it's all about.
It's a good thing, yes.
So, and I think a little bit of debate is a healthy thing. So, that being said,
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for coming, everybody. All right.